There was a lot of hinting growing up that, oh, maybe one day these two will get together. Hi, my name is Huda Al-Marashi. I'm the author of First Comes Marriage, my not-so-typical American love story. I'm also the daughter of Iraqi-American immigrants, and part of what inspired me to write this book was I was so interested in debunking the stereotypes around arranged marriage in the West. In the early 1980s, my family moved to California. The only family that spoke the same language, ate the same foods, shared the same religion was a family that had a boy that was a similar age to me. I was 6 years old at the time, and the boy who was to become my future husband was only 9. We grew up going to each other's houses for family events, for graduations. There was a lot of hinting growing up that, oh, maybe one day these two will get together. And we come from a matchmaking culture. So there was always this conversation about other young people in our community and might so-and-so marry so-and-so. And if my name ever came up in conversation, my husband's mother was very quick to say, no, not her. She's ours. And I got it in my head very early on that this was not a way to be successful by Western standards. Now, the Western story of love is something so romantic and celebrates autonomy and choice, and never do you see a Western love story that celebrates anybody's parents being involved. But there was also things about it that felt terrifying. The idea that you could date someone for years and not know if their intentions were for marriage, or that you could be in a relationship for so long and that they could just fall in love with somebody else, and then that was a perfectly acceptable reason for a relationship to end. And something about the Eastern love story felt so secure. So knowing that my future love story would have parents involved kind of worried me. And so I had the idea that there had to be a way to get both. What really stirred the pot for my particular relationship was a very Western tradition, and that was the prom. And I was in my senior year in high school, and my mother approached me and said, would you like him to take you to the prom? This is another thing that a lot of people don't understand about matchmaking cultures, is that we assume that they're forced relationships, that the couple involved doesn't have any choice. But the way it more likely happens is that there's multiple meetings, multiple introductions, ample time to get to know one another, and that if either party is not interested in pursuing the relationship, they have full liberty to leave. The idea appealed to me because I thought, well, this is the way I can jumpstart our story. Now, I cooked up a world of expectations about this one evening. This seemed like the perfect bringing together of this two sides of myself that I had straddled so long, the Western and the Eastern, and I was doing this sanctioned thing, but now was the chance where this Western love story I pictured was gonna swoop in. And even though my husband had also grown up in the West and had also grown up watching the same TV and movies, he had no idea that this event in my mind was the one where he was supposed to transform and start acting like something that was beyond what was normative. He was just trying to be respectful. He was trying to do what we'd always done, which was followed the rules of what was expected of us. And before marriage, you comported yourself very proper and appropriate, and it didn't flirt, and you didn't tease, and you didn't hint at liking someone. So the evening wore on, and I didn't get invited to dance. And that frustration made me poke at him a little bit more and said, you had a chance and you lost it. 3 days later, he worked up the courage to call me on the phone and to tell me how he really felt about me. And I cannot underscore what a big step that was for us. He never called my house. We were the type of families where boys never rang. He told me how he felt about me, and this was something that really appealed to me because I was like, okay, I can work with this. If he told me he liked me, then that meant we're not, brought together by our families. We have our own story. But what did that mean? What it meant was we had the opening to a story, and now in order for us actually to become a couple is when all the families would end up needing to rush in. That led to him telling his father how he felt about me, and his parents coming to my family's home to officially ask for my hand in marriage. So at this time, I am only 18 years old. I have not even finished my first semester in college, and I'm not worried. I think that I am doing the smartest thing to be successful by both culture standards. Even though I wasn't getting the kind of meet cute of the romantic comedy where you meet somebody and there's a chemistry and there's spark, and then you get to know each other and then you date, and it wasn't following this order, I felt some kind of security and confidence in this relationship. So I found myself engaged at the age of 18, and he was 21. I was hoping for more moments, for more stories, for more things to flesh out this romantic love story that was supposed to carry us through for the rest of our life. And our relationship was looking more and more and more like this very traditional, very arranged marriage. And as somebody who was born and raised in the US, it wasn't doubt that settled in, but questions like, what had I just agreed to do? A year and a half later of a very supervised courtship, we got married when I was 20 and he was 23. What my newlywed years showed me was that this East-West story that I was trying to fulfill was in itself a false dichotomy. The Western left story that I was trying to impose upon my marriage was causing a lot of trouble. And what I really needed and what I really hoped for others was to normalize the story that I did have. I had chosen a good man to marry. We were happy together. Our families were happy with us together. What was causing my dissatisfaction was the expectation that it somehow should have been otherwise. As I started to get more comfortable with my relationship, I started to notice all around me the ways that even Western culture was mimicking a matchmaking culture in many ways. There were television shows like The Bachelor and Love is Blind. And then we had this whole shift towards online dating. And online dating was nothing more than a community's auntie culling together information and bringing people together. And so the real question to me then became is, why aren't there other stories of what love looks like? There's a universality there that we're all participating in. It's hard to meet a partner. It's hard to meet someone. And all that is happening in so-called arranged marriages is that families and communities are working together to bring people together. The label of arranged marriage is so laden with so many ideas and notions and expectations. And the truth of the matter is, it's a lot more nuanced than that. And while yes, there are couples who it has not worked out for, I happen to be one of the stories where my family's input was actually valuable and we're very happy together. We have 3 children, and that's why this work is so important to me, and writing stories that show different arcs about love and relationships, because this current story is so narrow, and I think more people need a way to see themselves and see their relationship.